Battlefield 2042 has been in early access for about a week, and as this video is released, it is the day before the world premiere for the game, where everyone can purchase it no matter what edition you get. So, I have a question that I will be answering in this video, and it'll be separated into different sections. Should you buy Battlefield 2042? Let's get into it. Welcome to Uplink. Let's get started with what is offered in Battlefield 2042. Battlefield 2042 comes with 3 modes: All-Out Warfare, Portal, and Hazard Zone. All-Out Warfare has 7 maps and about 22 weapons. Portal has 6 maps, and it is separated into 3 different eras. You have 1942, Battlefield 3, and Bad Company 2. Bad Company 2 has 2 maps. Battlefield 3 has 2 maps, 1942 has 2 maps, and throughout those 3 different eras, you have access to era-specific weapons. Of those weapons you have access to in 1942, there are 10. In Battlefield 3, you have 23 available to you, and in Bad Company 2, you have 21 available to you. And each of these weapons are tied to the different classes available, which you can turn on or off in Portal. Now, especially between Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3, there's some carryover in those weapons. So it's not just you add all of those up and with the base weapons available to you, you get the amount of weapons in the game. Just to make you aware, each of these eras and their weapons are not all unique, but most of them have a really good spread. In terms of what is offered, there's another thing you have to be aware of for Battlefield 2042, and that is the specialist system. At launch, you'll be given access to 10 total specialists, and with more to come, we'll get into that in a later section of this video. Check the timestamps if you want to hop to that already. Just one more note on those game modes offered. You have All-Out Warfare, Portal, and Hazard Zone. All-Out Warfare, you'll have access to Breakthrough and Conquest at 128 players on next-gen console and PC, and on PS4 and Xbox One, you'll be limited to 64 players. Now let's talk about performance in Battlefield 2042, and that has been the big topic in the community and all around gaming for this game. PC has been in a rough state for sure. They have offered a client-side update, and there is going to be a day 1 patch, but at this point, we don't know how that will affect things. And usually when there is an update, especially like a day 1 patch, it will fix a lot of issues, but it will also introduce some. So definitely be aware of that if you want this game at launch. The download size for this game is around 50 if you're on next gen or PC, and on last gen it is about 26 to 27 gigs. So not as heavy as something like a Call of Duty, but be aware that it is still a decently sized game. I have personal experience with Xbox Series X, so that is what I will be talking about and talking to on the topic of performance for next gen. That performance on next gen is very solid. The only issues I've had are around server issues, and that's just because of the surge of people on those servers. It doesn't seem like they really optimized it that well on the server side, but supposedly that has been better with the server side patches they have been implementing. In terms of last gen, I have had experience with this game. I've put about 3 or 4 hours into it now with the Xbox One S, and I will say it runs. I will say it does not run as well as Battlefield 5 did for that console. It just seems like a very pixelated and blurry experience, and overall does not run very well. I had a lot of frame drops during that time period that I was playing. I will say that a friend of the YouTube channel that we have here has said that he plays on the base PS4 and that the Xbox One S does look better and run better than the PS4 version. I would definitely be aware of that because it is tied to what platform you're playing on, and with the rise in terms of are you playing on the launch edition, are you playing on the S edition, or the Pro Edition or the X Edition on Xbox, it is going to change depending on what platform you are and which version of the console you're playing on. So what about future content? And this is something that is going to be a new direction for Battlefield 2042. They're implementing a battle pass, and they'll have a total of 4 seasons for that first year. And in that 4th season, you'll get 4 specialists, as well as a varying array of skins and appearances for the characters and the weapons. We still don't necessarily know the inner workings of how that exactly will take place in the game, but we do know that we will have some amount of content that will be spread out through that year. So, the answer to the question that I put forth in the beginning of this video set the groundwork for this game in terms of giving you the details to hopefully let you make the decision yourself. But in terms of my position, if I was a person not creating content for this game, would I buy this at launch? Would I recommend people buy this at launch? And I'm going to put you into a few different categories. If you're on PC, I'd say maybe wait a little bit. If you're on base console, I would highly recommend waiting. If you can, or if you do buy the game, I would buy the cross-gen version and get the next-gen version of the console as quickly as you can, which is a lot harder to say these days. It is quite difficult to get the console that you want in a timely fashion or for a good price. So that's definitely something. If you are a hardcore Battlefield fan and you're going to be playing this game no matter what bugs, no matter how many times you glitch through the floor, no matter how many times that you just cannot move or you're rubber banding, I think you're perfectly fine. I think you're going to greatly enjoy this game. I definitely have. This game is such a blast to play. Portal is one of the best and most unique experiences in any Battlefield game that I've played, and I hope it gets the support it needs. But if you're looking at this game, and I think this is the big indicator, and this is how you should make your purchase, if you see this game at its current state and you think it's going to be fun, get it. If you don't like that, don't bet on it getting better optimized for your last-gen console, because we've seen that it's not necessarily the focus for them. I have yet to hear some heavy discussion around the performance of the last-gen version of the game, so they may just not be aware of it, or they're putting their efforts into PC and the next-gen versions of the game. The last-gen version is fine. It is a version that you can play. Overall, having an absolute blast with this game. Greatly enjoying all of the different options with it. There are tons of work. 124 player breakthrough is ridiculous, and there's too many vehicles, and there's not enough. It has some issues. It has some issues, and I may make another video on those issues in the future, but definitely there as well. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Greatly appreciated. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. And if you want more content from us here from Uplink Podcast, definitely subscribe. As always, we'll see you on the battlefield.